What's going on, guys? I have a Tenpai Dragon deck list for y'all today, so let's get straight into it. So instead of just doing a regular deck profile, I actually want to kind of talk about the cards. So let's start off with the main deck first and go into our first three cards in the deck, and that will be Tenpai Dragon Pydra. This is your #1 starter in the deck. It searches you a Tenpai spell, so any Tenpai spell, so that would be the field spell or the Singing Kaiman. And basically, it has the effect that you don't take battle damage. Alright, Tenpai Dragon Chandra. This is your sort of your popular of the deck. Not really, because you can't, it doesn't activate the special like when it's added to hand. I think we're getting that soon, so that'll make the deck infinitely better, because right now you have to just get this in your hand, then special summon it, as long as you control a fire monster. So, also this is your tuner. Unfortunately, this is the only tuner in the deck, and this is kind of one of the choke points of the deck. Number 3 will be 2 Tenpai Dragon Phaedras. This is basically your monster reborn of the deck. So when this card's summoned or it declares a on attack declaration, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard. So either one of these. Typically, you're going to be going for this one, depending on the situation. So now, as far as our spell engine, we're going to be going with 4 Singing Summoning, basically. Of course, Terraforming. This is your card that basically makes these monsters invincible to hand traps and monster effects. So they won't be able to SP one away. They won't be able to Princess. If they ash it, it doesn't matter. So anyways, it's just great. And it's also a searcher. It's really a broken card when you think about it. Then we're going to be playing 3 Singing Kaiman. During the battle phase, you can add a Tenpai monster and special summon it. During any other phase, you can just add it. So typically, this is used in the battle phase most of the time. You would normal summon Pydra, add this, then go to battle. It's all situational. This deck's really good at breaking boards. It has lots of different routes to break a board. Also, sort of an engine requirement is Bestial Magnamut. I believe for going second, basically is just a additional copy of any of these that you might need. So that's why we play it. But typically, we're going to be going for this if we don't already have it. Well, that's it for your, what I like to call the Tenpai engine. And it's only like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cards. So it's really not that much. Now, what you'll see in the deck later on, I have bumped that up just a little bit, if you count the other 2 cards that I play. And some of you probably already know what it is, but let's get into it. So this will kind of give it away. We're going to be playing 2 Fenrir. It's great for breaking boards. You throw it down. Also, for when you're forced to go first, a Fenrir on board sometimes can buy you a turn. For our hand traps, we're going to be playing 3 Imperm, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Mourner, 3 Ghost Ogre. So Ghost Ogre helps us go second. It's not a bad top deck. So your worst top deck is probably this. Sometimes that, but this is not bad, and this is not bad for a top deck. Sometimes this one isn't either, depending on what you're playing against. So that's it for our hand trap / additional monsters, whatever you want to call it. This is not a bad top deck either. But we're only playing 50. We're playing 15 hand traps. 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah. So this card right here helps with like Appaloosas, IPs, typical stuff people are ending on. It just kind of nullifies that, and plus Infirm also. But the goal is to stop them from building a board. That way you can just basically run them over in the battle phase, because that's fun. Set rotation and race off. So what you'll notice when playing this deck is that the field spell really does help you get to where you need to be a lot of times. So we want to access that as much as possible. There's a moth in my house. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, then we're going to do 3 Prosperity, because consistency is a little diminished on this deck, because of course we really only have like 3 1-card starters, I guess you would call it. But that's still better than some decks. So last but not least, on a blind second build, Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. You can't beat this right here. I mean, if you draw this for turn, it's great. You draw this for turn, it's great. It just forces a lot of interaction. It forces like IP, all that stuff with the Snake Eyes matchup, which is one of your harder matchups when they go first and build a full board. But this can make it a lot easier. A lot of other decks, they just flat out can't put up enough of a board to be able to contend with you. So that's it for the main deck. It is 41 cards, and the only reason it's 41 cards is because of this card right here. If you're not going to play set rotation and Wraiths off, I would just say play 3 Fenrir's. Just play 3 Fenrir's, and then you'll be at an even 40. But I think having a 5th copy of the field spell is completely worth it. Bumping it up to 41 is a little weird, but it works out. Okay. For our extra deck, we're going to have 2 of the Tenpai Binding Dragon. This is the one that on summon it reborns one from the grave, and then after you've attacked like 3 turns, it can basically reborn itself. And I'm trying to think that I think that's the yeah, then you can destroy 1 spell and trap on the field. So that helps with like getting rid of like weird floodgates and stuff like that. 2 of the Transcendent Dragon. Like typically if this hits the board, you're winning the game. If this hits the board, you're winning the game because this is the one that turns off the battle. It turns off the battle phase effects of your opponent, and it makes them all go to attack position. And it also has the effect if 3 or more attacks have been declared, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So they basically both have that effect. It's broken. Trident Dragon. This is the one, like, this is technically an in-archetype card. This whole thing is kind of based, this whole archetype is based off of this card, basically. When it's summoned, you can pop 2 cards, and up to 2 cards that you control. So one of them's usually the field spell, and then another card, and you can attack twice. You gain 2 attacks. So you'll have 3 attacks, and then your field spell will give it double attack. So 6,000 beater can attack 3 times. It's like 20,000, 18,000 damage. Okay, for the more garnet type stuff of the deck, Samurai, I say garnets, they're not really garnets. Samurai Destroyer for like Yubel, weird stuff like that. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, just for a non-destructive pop or return. Again, Yubel. Black Rose Dragon for a board wipe, board breaking. It's just a great card. And then for our link package that I think you should play, especially as long as fire is still such a big deal. Plus the mirror. I mean, it's just kind of dumb not to play it. 1 striker, and I'll just go ahead and wait. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, okay. Anyways, my SP Little Knight is in another deck right now. Striker Dragon and SP, but my SP is in another deck. So just know there will be an SP here. That's the only reason you have this, is just so you can get the full effect of it sometimes. Sometimes you need to clean up. Maybe you can't completely OTK them. Whatever reason, they got Wabaku or whatever, you know, they take no battle damage. Seals, spears, heavenly spears. I keep calling it seals. Self-explanatory. This is your best going first board. Believe it or not, this card's actually kind of cracked. This plus Fenrir with a couple hand traps, usually you're going to see another turn. For our OTK package, Hita, Princess, Raging Phoenix, and Zelantis. Keep in mind, this card can also be there's a lot of situations, maybe you have Fenrir and then one of the lesser dragons, but maybe they have a Padra in the grave or something. You can Hita into that, Padra, grab that, and then just go crazy. So it comes up, it could come up. It's one of the things, you know. Otherwise, you can do if they have a fire in the grave, and you got another monster, you can do the whole Raging Phoenix, Zelantis, OTK. It's like just enough. So, is it high percentage? No. Is it worth it? Yeah, you might as well play it. There's no reason to pack your deck full of synchros and not have anything else to do. I've even tried to look into maybe some level 3 Xyz monsters that you might could make or something, just to, you know, to do something. You could do the Ultima Tzolk'in line, but like I said, if you fill your whole deck with synchros, Dimensional Barrier hurts even more. So side decking is very important with this deck. It's very, very critical. I've noticed that big time. So we're gonna start off with 3 Droplet. Droplet is arguably main deck worthy, but then your hand trap count goes down to like either you cut the Lightning Storms and the Feather Duster, or you cut like the Ogres. But then you go down to only like 12 hand traps, and a lot of times Droplet on its own is not enough. So yeah, you know, it's side worthy though. D-Barrier, I like to run 3 because in the mirror, of course, you need it. In the mirror, you also have cross out, but D-Barrier is just self-explanatory. So we have cross out designator, just a kind of a broken card this format. Going first or going second, you can side this in depending on who you're playing against. Because a lot of people are going to put D-Barrier in no matter what, whether they're going first or second. You just really need this, and it feels so good to cross out a Dimensional Barrier. Then we have Shifter. There's matchups where this just turn skips your opponent. Certain Snake Eyes hands, it just turn skips them. And then Nibiru for when you need to go a little more hand trap heavy. Say it's a matchup where they're just not really doing anything in the back row. You just take out Lightning Storm and Feather Duster. Put this in, let them do their wombo combo, nib them, and then you're just like, well, I win, basically. You know, some decks it really is like that. But I think this is like the best siding